So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it. My bones, I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, everybody. How we doing tonight? Welcome, welcome. Tonight, we are going to go over the GameStop 10Q for Q1. Do a little bit of chatting. I will do an abbreviated version of this video in the morning, just in case you don't want to watch a live stream, because there's going to be Q&A and a bunch of stuff. I'll just hit the nitty-gritty on a separate video tomorrow morning, maybe tonight, depending on what time we end up. Just want to get that out of the way. This is going to be a little more relaxed. I had a busy day today, so I'm just in the last 30 minutes getting to look at the 10K. Obviously, I was watching it when the market closed, but I haven't had time to dig through every single thing on here. I know the high points, and we'll go through the financial statement piece and then answer whatever questions you guys have. And I want to know, while folks are filtering in, did you have a play on GameStop today? Were you playing options? Did you buy today? Did you buy prior to the run-up and sell into the run-up? Did you buy into the run-up hoping it was going to squeeze? Let me know where your mind was at going into today as we ended the trading day, because I'm kind of curious how you guys are viewing this play, and then I'll tell you what I did. Juicy, what's up? Punchy Nuts, Anya, Valentine, Silent Solitude, G Immortal, Jorge, what's up? Groundhog Eater Siete, what's up? Physiologist 72, Mike, what's up? Blazin, what's up? Chris F. Damrick, no plays. Someone said the sunburn you. Yeah, I've been working out, trying to get my cardio back, as you guys know if you've tuned in. Since the beginning of this month, and I've been running in the middle of the day. So if I look red, it is indeed sunburn, or what will eventually be suntan if it doesn't all peel off. No alcohol tonight, in keeping up with the commitment I made to myself to cut carbs, calories, everything, and get back in shape now that my knee is 100% from that damn injury I had. Gosh, what was it, 8 months ago? Cardio's sucking, man. I can tell you, as a former competent 10K runner, not competitive, just, you know, I could run a 10K before I have. Starting cardio back up just absolutely brutally sucks. So I'm doing about 3 to 5 miles on my runs, but they end up being more like interval training, because I can't run 3 to 5 miles out of the gate. No damn way. I could barely run a tenth of a mile on the first day. So it's run till my heart rate's up and I can't stand it, and then walk the rest of the half mile, and then repeat. And maybe I should stop with the damn vape and cigars too while I'm at it with the drinking, but we'll see. When I'm down 10 pounds, we're gonna have a shot. Halfway there in 7 days. Matt, what's up? Keygen says previous earnings on GameStop was too good to be true. This miss was expected. Trinity says he just held. Chris F says he could have gotten out at break even but did not. Valentine, wait until tomorrow morning. Physiologist had calls ahead of time, should have sold. Oh man, up 150 and held. Ouch. Sorry to hear that. Brian says, Tony looks thin. Yeah, I've got, every day I log my food. For the first couple of weeks, I'm logging food again to make sure I'm keeping calories down. It says, your body mass index says that you're fat. Okay, thank you for the daily reminder. I've got to get below 179 at my height before it says I'm healthy. 179 pounds, which was where I was before COVID. Was about 175, 180. So that's the goal. I'm at 190 right now. Carlos got destroyed on calls. Sorry to hear it. All right, so I see a few of your plays. You're thinking, Maggie, how you doing, Maggie? As you guys know, after the last quarterly earnings in that run up, and then it didn't hold, I sold my GameStop at 24 1/4. I shoulda, woulda, coulda bought at 18 on the run down. What was that? A few weeks back, 6 weeks back. I didn't because I thought it was going to 15. And so I missed this latest run up. But this morning, about 10 a.m., you know how it ran up in pre-market, came down. When it came down in the morning, I put in a limit order for puts. And then when it popped up at 10 a.m., all of those puts were bought. And I was not expecting a profit this quarter. If you follow me on my Discord, this is no secret, right? We talk about GameStop all the time. And yes, the trade is posted in my VIP section of Discord for anybody who's saying he just talks about his trades. No, I talk about my trades, and if you're in the VIP, you can see them. But we're not trying to sell the VIP. I'm just saying for those that are in the Discord, you can vouch for me. For all the haters, so I probably will make some money in the morning or the next couple days on those puts, depending on what happens. Look, there's been overnight holds that I've done on calls and puts in many stocks where you think you're going to wake up with profits and they evaporate. So I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. But after we go through the news, I'd be surprised if we see a pre-market run-up. Propagating plants, what's up? Damrick says, I don't trade meme stocks anymore since you taught me fundamentals. Yeah, for me, this was just a swing trade on those puts. So wish me luck in the morning. $18 will get me 250%. That's probably a reasonable price target. They don't expire till end of July. If for whatever reason it went to 15, that'd be about a 500% profit, but I'll sell before that. Maggie's still holding GameStop. All right, let's talk about what happened. I know a lot of people, expectations were high. My general thoughts on my channel, I like GameStop. I like Ryan Cohen. I like the retail support base behind it. However, in general, I'm not a big fan of brick and mortar retail merchandise stores. So especially if they're losing money. And GameStop has been for a while. So what GameStop needs to do is what they've been doing: cut costs, cut locations, cut salaries, cut layers of management. They're doing the right things, right? I don't have anything bad to say about them. It's just a matter of getting there. And then that whole NFT thing, the marketplace they were working on, bad timing on that. It's making them some money. But, you know, it would have been nice if the crypto market wouldn't have cooled off like it did. Blazin says, no GameStop for me, but I did buy another 100 charge point at market open. Nice job. All right, let's talk about what happened. So the CEO got fired, and he also resigned from the board. This is Matt Furlong, as you know. He was terminated as president and CEO and he resigned as a director of the company on the board. Some people were confused. Did he get fired? Did he resign? Yeah, one of each. Mark Robinson was appointed as the company's general manager, and Ryan Cohen was appointed as executive chairman of the company. So Ryan is taking the helm on the board, and some people are going to view that as bullish, and I would say that's probably a valid thought. By the way, Anya, if we get Anya and any other admins tonight, mods have free reign to boot anybody after one warning tonight. Don't even bother to ask me if somebody's being pedantic, because I'm going to be looking at the charts. Y'all handle business. Warn them one time, and the next time they send any message, kick them off the channel. Because let's talk about GameStop, and then I want to see what questions you have, and then maybe we'll talk about Mullen, all the drama going on over there. Okay, let me make sure I've got the previous quarter up here on the top screen. Let me get the screen so you can see it. Sorry, I thought that I was showing you what happened with Matt Furlong, but I didn't realize I didn't have the screen up. Anyways, terminated as CEO, resigned as director. All right, moving back to the 10Q. Damn it. All right, I want to start with the income statement. Net sales were $1,237, $1.2 billion. That is as opposed to $1,378 in the same quarter a year ago. And if we look back a couple quarters, let me make this a little bigger for you. 1237, you can kind of see how that stacks up against all these other quarters. It is not as good as Q4, obviously. Q4 is a great quarter for GameStop. It is better than the two previous quarters, Q3 and Q2. Not as good as Q1 a year ago, though. So we got that. We'll get into ratios and how things look as we get further down. I just want to hit some highlights here on things. Net loss, $50 million. The GAAP net loss was negative 17 cents. The adjusted earnings per share was negative 14 cents, and I think that the analysts had been predicting negative 12. So either way, whether you're looking at adjusted or GAAP earnings per share, it was a miss. When we look at the balance sheet, cash and cash equivalents, about $1.3 billion. And if I look at last year, sorry, let me get on the right screen. Cash and cash equivalents about $1.3 billion. And last quarter on the balance sheet, they had 1.38. So slight decline in cash and cash equivalents. That mostly went over to inventory. So inventory last quarter was $682 million, and now we got $759 million. So slight uptick in inventory. Total current assets, $2.2 billion. When I look down at current liabilities, $1.3 billion. So that ratio is healthy. Obviously, we know GameStop doesn't have a lot of debt, so this is what you want to see. Current assets higher than current liabilities. No long-term debt here. And stockholders retained loss, $270 million. Total liabilities, and stockholders' equity, $3 billion. Let me check the comments real quick, and then we'll go through cash flow. Don't worry about torches, Anya. If they're being assholes, just boot them. No tolerance tonight. If anything's questionable, they're gone. I don't got time for nonsense. I got enough nonsense in my day dealing with Mullen people, AMC people, GameStop people, Bed Bath & Beyond people. If you're not here to learn how to invest smartly and be considerate, adios. All right, cash flow statement, net loss, -50, pulled over from the income statement. We got all the adjustments on cash flows from operating activities. Net cash used in operating activities, -100 million. Cash flows from investing activities, -6 million. And cash flows from financing activities, 2.8 negative, giving us a total decrease in cash of 116 million. That is this right here. So you have your starting cash at the beginning of the quarter and your ending cash. The difference is $116 million. Overall, all right, the financials overall, let's just stop and talk for a second, are good, right? The balance sheet's good. God damn it. Bad thing about having chickens in the backyard is chicken shit attracts flies. And I got one that snuck in the house when I let the dog out. He likes my bright lights here. Monitors, bright lights. Annoying as hell, man. So balance sheet's good. Cash is good. No debt is good. What is the problem with GameStop? It's not a horrible problem. They probably have some locations more than they need that are not performing well, just like AMC. AMC just announced closing 5 Odeon theaters over in the UK, 5 out of 116. More than likely, those were not profitable locations. GameStop has a bunch of leases coming up this year that they can exit out of, and I expect you'll see some store closures this year. That is trimming unprofitable locations. That's good. They obviously have the move to digital that they're dealing with. But as far as the financial statements, what they really need is back-to-back positive income quarters. So let's go over and look at their release and see how things looked. How did things compare when we see what's selling and what's not? So up on the top screen, I've got last quarter. We had hardware and accessories, 58%. Last quarter, January 2023, it was 55%. So that went up slightly. But net sales, 725 million versus 1.2 billion on hardware last quarter. It's the holidays. Software down from 30% last quarter to 27%. Collectibles flat, 14% last quarter, 14% this quarter. What else can we pull out of here? This is the adjusted EBITDA, non-GAAP results. All right, that's probably the very high level overview that I want to do. If you're saying, why did it go down? CEO got fired. I don't care what anyone says, that's never good news. Never good news. Like, a lot of people had faith in this guy. A lot of people been talking this guy up for a long time. Now he gets fired. You got to call a spade, right? It's not good news. Ryan Cohen needed to make some strategic changes because things weren't happening at the speed he wanted. Secondly, the market needed to see 2 back-to-back positive earnings, and they didn't get it, so the price came down. Expectations were high. People bid the price up. We had 2 bad things happen. Price came down. Now, I know that Ryan Cohen is going to be talking with folks and letting us know what his new plan is. That could reignite things when we see what his new strategy is, or what his strategy is in general. So I just say, you know, what are my expectations? It's going to be a little volatile for the next week or so, maybe the next couple weeks, maybe the rest of this month. But, you know, it's been trading in that window between 15, 18, let's call it 18 to 26. I think I'd be surprised for it to see, I'd be surprised for it to go below that, unless there's some other bad news that we hadn't talked about yet. And once I read through the entire 10K, which I will tonight or tomorrow morning before my 5-minute GME video, unless there's some other surprise, I will be looking to buy again around 18 for GameStop. Chris says they have no catalyst and no direction. Yeah, that's what I need to hear. I need to hear that from Ryan. So I have no position in GameStop other than the puts I bought this morning when it was at $26. I'll hopefully be able to offload those for a profit in the morning or the next day, depending on how things are trending. And then I'll wait. I'll wait for the price to come down and then look for that bounce up to jump in. What are your guys' thoughts besides that excellent one up there? Who said that? Oh, Chris F. They have no catalyst and no direction. Yeah, look, I like I said, I like Ryan. I think if there's a man for the job, it's him. But I think they have a direction. The direction is cut costs. So where did I skip over the SG&A? SG&A, yeah, sorry, let's talk about that for a second. What page am I on here? Sorry, I'm trying to line up last quarter with this one. They don't have it. They don't have it broken down the same way. I think that the SG&A improved in terms of percentage. We know they're working hard to cut costs. Frank says most kids play Roblox now. I know nothing about Roblox. I tell you what. All I know is as my 2 boys were getting older, we went from having a GameStop card to, hey, Dad, can I borrow your credit card? I need to download a game like every week. Hobbled Wobbler says, hopefully Ryan Cohen has some tricks up his sleeve. I hope so for all the GameStop investors. Andrew says, just got back from a call out. Wife is sleeping. Shh. Steven says GameStop needs to secure a deal with a game developer and cut out the middleman. Hang on one second. I'm gonna grab a ciggy. A ciggy. How many I got left from that pack? Should we do the small one or the manly one? I got 2 left, and then I got my first box that I haven't opened yet from Cigar Club. Mick says, for such a smart man, your stubbornness has hurt you financially. How so, Mick? Fill me in. Don't say AMC, because I sold a shit ton of options in June of 2021 as I'm yelling at the screen at the idiots buying them. You know the two. I made a fuck ton. Every share of AMC or Ape I have right now is paid for and then some. There's no way I will lose money on this play. But fill me in, Mick. How stubborn am I? What am I stubborn on? And just to repeat, if it's your first time here, every time AMC took a major dip over the last 2 years, I bought calls, and about 70% of those I also made money on. Learn the patterns, buy calls on the dip, 60 days out, so you have plenty of time. Sell on any run up. We've gone over this so many times. I'm sick of talking about it. I don't like to, I'm not trying to brag, but for anybody who thinks they're going to come here and say, I lost money on AMC, you haven't been paying attention. Save the big one for the weekend, James. All right, deal. You're the first comment I saw about the cigar. I like that plan. I got to run in the morning. I'm stubborn on buying low. I am stubborn on buying low. Yeah. That is a fact. But you know what? The reason I'm stubborn on buying low is there's literally thousands of stocks out there. And I set my targets on a stock, and if it hits the price that I want to buy it at, I buy it. And if it doesn't, guess what? There's a lot of other plays out there. Not a big deal. Harold, what's up? Gia says, do I need money in my account to exercise my call options? Yeah, you're gonna, if you're exercising your call options, you're gonna need cash, yes. SMK says, I was listening to a GME Space earlier, and they're talking about GameStop buying a battery company. I did not hear about that. Mick says, NVIDIA up 80%, AMC collapse. I think a lot of people have the mistaken impression that AMC is my only stock in my portfolio. Guys, I want you to have a risk-balanced portfolio. Look for profitable companies. Make that 80% of your portfolio. And then if you want to speculate on money-losing companies or short squeezes, take a reasonable amount of money and gamble. That's like cheaper than a trip to Vegas, probably. Everybody that listens to my channel, the ones that hate me the most is because I don't gamble everything on AMC. I don't put all your money on a money-losing company. Come on, man. You think I don't have other plays in my portfolio? I would love to spend more time talking with you guys about them and give you some ideas if we could ever stop talking about money-losing companies. But people they can't get over this addiction of short squeezes. And I would like you to all #evolve. How long is it going to take of people getting sick of watching something they're holding go down to pennies and then go bankrupt, or get diluted, or get reverse split 3 times? How long is it going to take for you to get sick of that and stop asking me about those stocks and start saying, Tony, when can we talk about some money winning plays? When can we talk about some profitable companies? I talk about what you guys want to talk about. I mean, I make educational videos. Nobody watches them. I make videos on money making companies. Nobody watches them. So, you know, I got to respect my audience and also value my time. It takes me the same amount of time to make a 5-minute AMC video as it would to make a Costco video. But who the fuck's going to watch a Costco video? Nobody. Because it's boring. It's a great company. It's a slow growth. It's one you should have. But nobody watches that shit. So you guys need to evolve. Start asking me, how can we actually make money and stop buying all this crap? First of all, stop listening to all the goddamn clickbaiters. These motherfuckers, man. Relentless, zero financial education. All they think they can look at a chart and tell you what's going to happen. They couldn't explain a financial statement if it meant saving their mom's life. They have no idea about why stocks are going down. Since they can't understand the financials, they blame it on manipulation or naked shorts or anything else. Bad decision making, bad financial analysis, inability to analyze whatsoever. It's easy to blame everybody else, but you need to learn how to do the work yourself. Understand the fucking 10Q. And yeah, I love momentum trades. I love short squeezes. I love gambling plays, just like you guys do, of course. But I scale my risk. I'm not going to blow up my account on an AMC or a Bed Bath & Beyond or anything. No, just no. And if you already are stuck there, I get it. But let's evolve. Put some more money in your account as you can, and let's find some safer plays. It's not as fun. It's boring. It's boring to pick something going up at a reasonable growth rate. But it's a lot less crying and whining and being emotional than watching everything go to zero. And if you can't get out of that habit of watching everything go to zero, you're going to have to start just buying index funds. Because you're not ready to be trading individual stocks yet. Any other questions on GameStop? And then I want to talk about some Mullen drama. Mullen, another company I don't recommend. Another company that all the clickbaiters, Adam Arno's stealing 90% of our shares. 10 videos a day. Adam Arno's stealing 90% of our shares. Put him in jail. Meanwhile, after every 10th video complaining about Adam, they make a pump video. And, you know, if you've made a pump video on Mullen in the last month, you know who I'm talking about. If you have those thumbnails, that's who I'm talking about. They pump Mullen, even though the CEO just stole 96% of those shares. They have no problem telling you how great Mullen is. Not one video complaining about the CEO or the reverse split or the fact that it has no revenue. It's just cheap. So I think the fundamentals are good. God damn. Wake the hell up, people. Everlong says, have you made a video on how to read a 10K or 10Q? I have 3 videos a couple months ago. How to read an income statement in 5 seconds. Another one for the balance sheet, another one for cash flow. Probably the 3 best, most important videos for any of you on this channel, and hardly anybody's watched them. If you want to know, when you guys ask me about a ticker, what am I looking at? How can I analyze a play in about 30 seconds? Watch those 3 videos. You don't need to be a CPA. You don't need to even have taken accounting, but there's some basic red flags that you can spot if you watch those videos and practice. And go look at all the stocks you're holding and see where do they stack up compared to what I'm telling you to look at. You'll understand why they're going down. All right. Anybody? Is a noisy Corax in here? Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, Corax, what did you think of GameStop today? And while he's typing that, I'm going to talk about the Mullen drama. So as we know, Mullen did a reverse split. As we know, the fundamentals of Mullen are absolute dumpster fire. They're burning cash. They're running low on cash. David Michery's lying to you that they have adequate cash. They do not. They're trying to get production up and running, which is going to need even more cash. They had the threat of delisting. They have no products really in production, no revenue. They're getting some vans cranked out. Maybe this quarter that we're in, we'll see some revenue, but it's not going to be enough to be a profitable quarter, not by a long stretch. But everybody then said, Lawrence Harge is our savior. And things are not working out on that front. So I watched over at another YouTuber's channel, Financial Journey. His name's Cal. He's done a fair job of covering Mullen, although maybe a little bit too bullish, but a decent job of telling you the good and the bad. He had some good interviews last night with Lawrence on the phone and then with David Michery on the phone. Nice win there. And Lawrence said, oh, you know, I'm done with Mullins. Mullins didn't pay me. And he sounded like, you know, everyone was conspiring against him. And then David's like, oh no. Wait, I need to say my piece. So he got on the phone with Cal. He said, look, here's the deal. We have a contract and it's filed, a material agreement, and it's filed with the SEC. I read that a month ago, 2 months ago, whenever it was filed. And whatever David Michery said was actually true. We have a contract. We agreed to pay Lawrence $50,000, and subject to refining the contract and agreeing on some other things, we'd pay him $5 million, blah, blah, blah. Well, they haven't agreed. They haven't agreed on everything. And Lawrence is saying, I want my $5 million. And David's saying, we haven't agreed on everything yet. So there's that. He's not getting his $5 million till they agree. The other thing is, David, you know, we're wondering where's all the results on the black box. As far as I'm concerned, looking at what Lawrence submitted as test results, totally insufficient. Would not pass any reasonable muster. How do I know that? Because one of my jobs, I did work corporate a long time ago, and one of my jobs was a test engineering manager. I was in charge of engineers designing tests for products that were under development and in a factory environment. And not that I'm a test expert. I was the fucking manager. I don't need to be an expert, but I needed to be semi-competent. What Lawrence submitted would not pass any reasonable scrutiny. So I passed on to Cal, Financial Journey, a couple weeks ago, some other things I'd like to see. And one of them was EPA testing. And what did David Michery talk about last night? He said, we've had vehicles waiting at an EPA test facility. I was like, what? for over a month, and Lawrence has not sent his black box down there to test them. Oh man, that's a red flag to me right there. Of all the shit you got to do, getting EPA testing, legit independent testing on those black boxes should be priority number one. And he's been over a month and he hasn't sent his damn little black box down there. You should be very nervous. So Lawrence seems like a nice guy. I think he overpromises and underdelivers. I'm not going to say outright that he's a scam, but he's talking outside his britches. And based on what David said, a lot of Lawrence's story is not adding up to me. Peter says, what's your number one frustration with your audience? Too many people asking about penny stocks and money losing plays. What do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? What do you think about? Look, it's a fucking penny stock. If the earnings, if there's no evidence of any positive earnings, you don't need my analysis. It's a dumpster fire. You want to play it for momentum? Hey, knock yourself out. If you want my analysis, I'm going to be brutal and look at the financials, and it's never going to sound good. But Tony hates every play. No, you guys are picking shitty plays. You're picking shit. Stop picking those. Let's talk about some winners. Why don't y'all start asking me about stocks when we go live again in the daytime? Start asking me about stocks that have a history of profits. You'll hear my tune change real quick. That really was, I think that really was Scavenger. I clicked on go to profile and it went to his page. I don't think Scavenger would say that either. The first part makes logic. Popcorn screwed the GME investors. The second part doesn't sound like something he would say. Scavenger, send me a DM on Twitter if that was really you. So that's where we're at with Mullen. What's going to happen with the price? God damn. The next real production that they're planning is July and August. That's a long ass wait. You got a company with no revenue, company that needs to raise cash, a company that just announced dilution. No revenue and dilution. What do you think is going to happen to the price? On top of that, now since they're under $1, I think there is real risk of delisting, and I'd just be real careful on that one. I do have a little bit of money on it just for fun, but talking about scaling your risk, how much am I willing to risk on a dumpster fire? Under $100. And the only reason I would do that is if I could try and catch a bounce to get out on any good news. Any good news. Barry, what's up, Barry Electronics? What's the good news? You tell me, amigo. Damrick says he still hasn't got his postcard. Yeah, I'm not going to do a poll tonight because, believe it or not, people are admitting on video that they're lying on polls. Imagine that, guys. I mean, you all know this is happening, but they're stupid ass enough to admit it on video. Imagine, this is funny because on the Twitter poll that got submitted to the judge, a Twitter poll of 2,000 people said that no one got their postcards. We have video evidence of people admitting on camera that they lied on the poll. Hi, here's my postcard, but I just lied on a poll and said I didn't get one. Maybe we should send that video evidence into the court so they can see how valuable that Twitter poll was. I mean, we got influencers in this community admitting to fraud, lying on polls that are getting submitted to the judge as evidence. Funny world we live in. Anya says, will we hear good news about AMC Ape on June 21st? I'm not expecting any news until June 29th or 30th. We see how the case hearing goes, Anya. And even then, it's going to be a while. Oh, Scavenger said, did they boot you, Scavenger, or did she just mute you? If you're booted, I'll fix it. He said he was being sarcastic. Roseanne says, Tony, do you know other YouTubers know the percent amount of objections received by the court? Yeah, I do, Roseanne. There were, I think, about 3,200 or so objections sent in. About 2,500 were, 3,200 or so letters, and about 2,500 of them were objections. But, you know, most of us are not sending in support letters because it's unnecessary. We have both the plaintiff and the defendant counsel already arguing in favor for us to approve the settlement. We don't need to send in letters of support. We got two attorneys, one from the plaintiff and one from the defendant, both on our side, trying to get this settlement finished. So only the objectors need to send in a letter. Now, 2,500 out of 3.8 million. What do you think the percentage is on that? Someone do the math in your head real quick. 0.07%. 0.07% of holders of record filed an objection. Does not sound like an overwhelming majority, even if some people did not get their postcard. And I have no problem with you, by the way. If you sent one in, that's your right. I hope you got an attorney to help you write it. There was a update I posted in my Discord. I'm not putting everything out there on Twitter and stuff. Posted in my Discord a letter from Special Master Amato. She wrote a recommendation to the judge, and she's like, fuck all these objectors. Well, I'm ad-libbing a little bit because it's Wednesday night. She's like, for real though, she said, I recommend that all objections, even future ones, be denied. all motions to intervene. All motions to intervene. I recommend that they all be denied. We're just hearing the same old shit, and we're already denying them anyways, so let's just deny all future ones, and we'll talk about this on June 29th. That's my whimsical but mostly factual summary of what she said. If you're in the Discord, you already saw the entire document and exactly what she said. Larry says, do any YouTubers get in trouble for giving financial advice? The way you get in trouble, Larry, is if you're being paid and you don't disclose it. Or if you're front running, buying a penny stock when it's cheap, pumping it, getting people to buy it, and then sell while it's running up. Those are the two ways to get in trouble. No, I'm not paid by anybody. I've said that many times. And I tell you guys about my trades. I don't front run shit. In fact, I barely recommend stocks because of the risk of being accused of that. If I'm recommending a stock, typically it's because I'm looking at the financial statements like a reasonable person would and telling you this looks good. Sometimes we'll look at TA and say, okay, in the short term over the next week, the XYZ looks like it might have a bounce up. But yeah, if you're front running and lying to people, selling while you're telling them to buy, you can get in trouble. If you're getting paid and you don't disclose it, you will also get in trouble. I do not do either one, just to be clear. What's up, owning the float? I get accused of getting paid all the time, but you know, I got these cuckoos. Everything for them is a conspiracy. If he doesn't agree with me, he must be getting paid. No. I'm reading the fucking financial statements. I'm reading the filings. I'm applying logic instead of jump into some wild ass harebrained conspiracy theory. Like Ape was created in 2022. What an absolute crock. In 2020. Absolute crock of shit. Oh, well, I read it in the filing on the 2022 10K. Therefore, it must be crime. All right. All right. I can see how you might think that, but before you rush out a bunch of videos, and I'm talking to multiple people, not singling anyone out. There's a lot of these dumbasses doing this shit. How about maybe you go back to the 2020 10K and look at the same data, or the 2021 10K. What do they say? Do they say ape in there? No, they do not. All of those tables you're looking at were paid only to common stock. How about you look at the description of capital stock? At any point since 2013 to August of 2022, have you ever once seen that preferred stock was issued? No, you have not. It was very first time ever issued on August 4th, 2022. So for you to sit there and say that preferred stock was issued and sold unregistered, I mean, why would they be so stupid to do it properly in 2020, 2021, and then make a mistake in 2022? How about it's just an accounting adjustment for the fact that Ape existed? Why they did that? I'm waiting for a CPA to tell me the exact rule. And as soon as I have it, I will post it. But there is a logical, non-conspiracy reason why it was reported in a slightly different format. Something to do with the fact that Ape existed. So they split it when they reported it in the 2022. But you go back and look at the previous filings, it's very clearly was only paid to common. Like that's the first thing you do as part of your DD. Let me see if my premise is correct before I insert shoe leather into my mouth and have Tony Denaro call me a liar. Just guys, do your work. But you guys want clicks. You want emotions. You want your adoring fans to, yeah, you're right. We love you. No, you're all misleading your audiences. And that ultimately, those people that are lying will be probably held accountable, probably by AMC attorneys. Especially if you're accusing the company of RICO, bribery, all sorts of illegalities. That's slander, that's defamation. I would not be surprised if the attorneys are... These people might not have money, but they can sure get the YouTube channel shut down. Anywho, I will update you guys. I got calls into two CPAs, sorry, to tell me the exact, and John Merriweather, to tell me exactly the accounting reason why it was restated in 2022. There is 100% a logical answer, and it is not because Ape was being sold in 2020. That is just ridiculous. And I hope at some point you guys start waking up to the people that some of you are listening to, how they don't get anything right, how they get rejected by the court on every argument they make. Start paying attention. You might agree with them. I get it. It's easy to agree with someone that's emotional when you're in the same emotional state, but they're not speaking to you factually or logically. Atrum Equus says, just catching up on the GameStop review. One thing I didn't see mentioned, annual meeting is next week. Yeah, 6/15, isn't it? Maybe we will get some more news, hopefully. But I don't know. I think that Ryan Cohen will sneak some stuff out. And I think that the shareholders meeting probably will be just 10 minutes. Here's the vote. We're done. Robert, what's up? When will AMC have their next annual meeting? About a year from now. Right? I mean, we just had one, the vote in March. Was there anything significant in the AMC court case? Yeah, I mean, it's become difficult to get the court documents because the data feed that we're using that is inexpensive has been down for a few days. And multiple of us have checked with them, and they said they were having technical issues. We're all getting the same answer. And we got a little bit of updates today, and I have some other places that I'm getting data from, but essentially it's just what I talked about in the last 10 minutes or so. Rewind 10 minutes so I don't have to repeat it. Maggie, thank you. I appreciate it. Am I in MBOT? I am not, Chris. Fully robotic surgeries. Oh, that sounds cool. Chad says, still no postcards here. I did get some messages from my folks in Discord and viewers of the channel, including some in Canada that just got theirs today. So I'm going to say to those of you that are in the US and Canada, if you haven't got them, just continue to be patient for this week. Remember, there is no, I know this pisses people off when I say it, but there is no court-ordered must deliver by date. And yes, I'm not happy that everybody didn't have them by the end of May, of course. I'd like to know the details why also. And as many people are complaining about it, maybe the judge will address it. Maybe defendant's counsel will have to give an explanation. But at the end of the day, the judge didn't have a date, so nobody's out of compliance of anything. I think it'll be a non-issue. There have been times where if a judge thought that adequate notice wasn't given, I haven't read through all those cases, but it's not been unheard of that they extend a schedule, but I don't think that is going to happen in this case. It could. People have asked for it, but the judge so far seems very determined to keep things on schedule. Yes, Chad, please keep me posted. Robert, I could be mistaken. Let me use the Google. Yeah, normally the shareholders meeting is where they do the vote. This one was a special meeting, so yeah, we may have another one. We may have another one, Robert. But yeah, according to the terminology they used for March, it was a special meeting, not an annual shareholders meeting. Devastator got his on Sunday. I'm showing Robert that the annual 2022 meeting was on May 2nd. Sufyan, hey Sufyan, did you see the message I sent you? Speaking of CPAs, let me see if he answered me in Discord. Sufyan, can you look at the 2 screenshots I sent you? Yesterday at 6 p.m. And if you have an explanation, let me know and we'll get you on voice. It's a comparison between a 2022 10K and a 2020 10K. Exact same data, but they restated it in 2022, including APE for some reason. And I need to know the accounting reason why they would do that. Equiu says, Hasbro getting a bit interesting. Lord of the Rings Magic set pre-ordering well. A lot of hype on one of one card that has an open $1 million mount. Is that $1 million bounty? Holy shit. Yeah, speaking of Lord of the Rings, who has bought their movie tickets for any upcoming movies this week? Today, this month. I bought my Flash today, and I bought something else. AMC. There's about 4 that I want to go watch, but the other ones I'm not worried about selling out. Indiana Jones, I bought that June 29th. The Flash on June 15th. Oh, Sufyan says he's out drinking. Can't answer right now. All right, let me go. If you get a chance, let me know. I've also got an email into John Merriweather. We are going to get to the bottom of this question that people are having, and I don't want it just to be my opinion, even though I would put any amount of money you want on it that I am not incorrect. I want to give you the accounting reason why they restated it in 2022, just to make everybody happy. And then they'll still find a reason to say that's wrong. You just watch. SMK says he got Transformers. I'm going to go see that one. I'm going to go watch that movie, but I'm not going to buy it early. Maggie says, how will the conversion, reverse, and settlement happen? Yeah. So the order of events, Maggie, first, the reverse. So that will collapse AMC. One for Tim. Then they'll take a snapshot of everybody in that moment so they can calculate the settlement. So for every 7.5 you have after the reverse, you get 1 bonus or settlement share. Then APE will convert over. Now, this is getting into the weeds, but since AMC already reversed, they're going to have to divide 8 by 10 and convert it. So in some of the documents, you see this weird, it looks weird, right? APE is going to convert at 1/10 of AMC. Oh, it's more crime. No, it's because AMC already split. They had to split it to do the snapshot for the settlement. APE is not split yet, so you got to collapse it and convert it at 1/10 of the old AMC. Then it converts right over, and every APE you have will be one, every 10 APE you have will be 1 AMC. I don't even like talking the math because people's minds start. But those of you that know math, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Essentially, to us, Maggie, it should be mostly instantaneous. That is my hope. It's my hope. Sergeant Beef says, APE is the monkey money. Gia did not get his postcard yet. Most of the people that I have been talking to in the past week or so that have not got it at this point are in Europe. I do have confirmation from at least 1 or 2 people in the UK that they got theirs. Roseanne says, thank God I'm married to a mathematician. Lucky you, Roseanne. Silent X says, in stonk, you need to understand 4-dimensional objects. We got some people that can't even understand 1-dimensional, and they're making videos. God love them. Backyard Boogie, what's up? Looking to move to Texas and have one of those barn dominium built. Yeah, I've watched a few YouTube on some of those barn dominiums. If you got a nice little collection of cars or a big RV and a boat, pretty badass. Where would be the best area to move in Texas? I know we got a lot of land. I mean, what do you want to be close to? That's really what I'd say. Do you want to be close to professional sports? Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. I don't know about San Antonio though. I mean, the crime is moving north, if you know what I mean. Austin's a nice area if you can get out of the city and out of the politics and the high taxes. So, and then west of Austin is just beautiful rolling hill country with trees and creeks and views for miles. I'd probably be looking out there. Texas hill country. Just Google it. You're going to be blown away. It's not mountains. It's not like Colorado. But it is beautiful. Mike on the float. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, please. I got a follow-up question for you also on the question you asked last week about Netflix. And Mike, I just don't think your audience would appreciate me coming on. I have most of them blocked because the vitriol and the hate that I got to deal with from them. So I don't know that would be, I don't know it'd be a great collab. I don't want to come over to a channel where nobody is willing to listen. If I post a fucking court document, they say I'm lying. I'm paid off. Like, you can't win with these people. Nothing against you, Mike. I know you are reasonable. I'm talking about the general audience of your little group. Of your group, you're like one of the most sane ones, you and AB. You are not the most sane. Like, you guys are actually sane and can have a conversation like an adult. The rest I could talk to them, and then 1 hour later they'd be making a hate video about me. How do I know? Been there, done that. I'm done with that nonsense. We're moving on, bigger and better. So DM me, let's talk about it. Let's address those concerns, and then we'll see. I just don't think your audience wants to hear anything I have to say. Matt R, is GameStop moassing with Cohen? That is the one bright point out of today's earnings. Just to recap, Ryan Cohen's in charge now. Matt Furlong's out. It was earnings miss, and it wasn't a profitable quarter. So yeah, the stock got smacked. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I bought puts this morning at 10 a.m. when it was at $26. So I'll hopefully be able to sell those in the morning unless it spikes in pre-market. Nice little one-day profit. Roseanne says, don't let him get to me. They don't get to me, Roseanne. Nobody gets to me. They can say whatever the fuck they want. If they're adult about it, I'll converse with them. If they're insulting, I just block them. No, I have very thick skin, Roseanne. As long as I know I'm putting out factual information, nobody can. I'll put out a fact-based document, and then they say, you're a clown. Like, you can't even rebut what I'm saying except to insult. That tells me the level of people I'm dealing with. At least have an intelligent response. That's all I ask. Give me something intelligent. At least try. Anya, Scavenger, if you're still here, Anya says sorry. But I didn't see, did he message back in? If he accidentally got blocked, I'll fix it. What did you do, Anya? Did you block him or mute him? Chad says Ryan Cohn will make GME squeeze down the toilet. I don't think so. I'm not that cynical. He did great things with Chewy. If anyone can fix GameStop, it's that guy. But they have their own set of challenges. I'm going to call it exactly like I see it. They got a lot in their favor right now. Lots of cash and no debt, but they have challenges. So that's the management challenge. Fix those problems. All right. Poor Scavenger. She said that she blocked him. I'm going to go unblock him right now. Unhide. All right. Scavenger, you're unhidden. If you're still listening, show us proof of life. Chad says he has an order in if it hits 18. That's my target buy-in for GameStop. Also, Chad. I'll be looking 18 or lower. I'm willing to buy it. What other questions y'all got before we wrap up? Silent X says, can you only imagine what Adam Aaron has dealt with? I can't imagine what he's dealt with. I mean, look at what the MMTLP people, they're putting actual threats on Twitter. Some of these people are mental. That's no bueno. You can't do that. I mean, they can send law after you doing that shit. Just act like a grown-up. I understand you're mad at the wrong people, though. You should be mad at Bird Lady and everybody that lied to you about the value of the company. I even had to block some longtime viewers of my channel that didn't like that I said sell at 10 to 12 bucks, because it was going to drop to almost nothing, and then you'd be stuck holding something you can't sell. I mean, we talked about this as it was happening 6 months ago. No, Tony, we want a lawsuit. All right, well, you got one. How's that working out? Bird Lady was and still is one of the MMTLP YouTube pumpers. Just completely Pied Piper people down the road, exaggerating the value of the stock and the resources that they had. Like I said early on into the run-up, the stock was fairly valued by the market at $2. That's the first thing that made people mad. And then we got the FOMO run, which was excellent, but you should have sold into that. That was FOMO. Sell it, take the money, run, move on to the next play. What's up with the court data breach that Al just announced? How long ago, Volkstoy? Are we talking about the email from a day or two ago, or is this something new? Did I see Gary Gensler once tried to work for Binance? I have not seen that. New. Okay. Well, I mean, he made a 2-hour video talking about breaking news on a secret email, which was total bullshit. I read that email on May 20th. He just made a video 2 days ago about it, like it was some secret video email he found. That damn email talking about creating Ape and Antara. Literally everything in that email was in the Antara AMC filings in December of 2022. There's no criminality in that email. Everything that was in that email was filed with the SEC in the form of a real document in December of 2022. So I literally don't believe anything this guy says. He's all about clicks and emotions. All right, let's see what he says here. Data breach.
Everybody, it's Al from Boston. Pay very close attention. This was an email sent by Mr. Curry, who was one of the litigators in this trial. Pay very close attention. As registered SRI filers in the AMC litigation, each of you were served earlier this evening with a copy of plaintiff's reply brief.
I think I know where this is going.
Of a proposed settlement. Though you were served with the brief and supporting documents, those documents were not yet on the public docket. It's come to my attention that the filled versions of the exhibits to my transmittal affidavit included information that was not intended to be filed publicly, including personal identifying information. We intend to work with the court to ensure that such exhibits are not docketed publicly before being apparently appropriately replaced. In the meantime, I'm sorry, I'm just like out of breath because I cannot believe this has happened. In the
I'll
meantime,
tell you about it in a
I
second.
ask you not to disseminate any of the exhibits on my it's already out there. Exhibits in
It
my
is already out there, Al.
transmittal affidavit on social media or otherwise. I believe that doing so would be contrary to the wishes of the court. It's already out there. People have already started messaging me. In terms of your information, I have no idea what was breached. I don't know if it was a hack. If it was an
So
unauthorized...
what he's talking about is these people that objected and submitted their proof of ownership, copies of their accounts and their holdings, including Al. It got released to the public, unfortunately. It was not supposed to be. So, yeah, I've already seen it. I can't share it. It's not supposed to be public. Korak says it's not even on the docket yet since it's a non-issue. It is unfortunate. I mean, I don't want anybody's non-public data out there in the public. But it's out there now if you look hard enough. Gus says, do you still have a 411 price target for AMC? That was last week, Gus, and I was incorrect, thankfully. As far as price targets for AMC this week, let me bring the chart up. As we get further into June and we got these great movies coming out, I'm going to be a little more bullish for the remaining weeks. Hang on, let me get my chart centered on this screen. So we are on an uptrend. The low that we got to on the 31st was 452. We're testing right now the 13 EMA with today's close. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow on the daily. But as long as this uptrend continues and if we have any spectacular movie results with all this shit coming out, we could go up to $5. I'm not able to predict right now exactly what's going to happen. This candle right here needs another daily confirmation, so we need to see one more candle. So we'll see. Let's check in tomorrow. Roseanne, good night. First Wave says, this ain't an uptrend. Yeah, you're not going to see me making any ants trade videos saying we're about to squeeze up. If it goes up because of movie good news, look, right now, just to be perfectly blunt, most people, I think, I get it, there's a vocal few are absolutely convinced that the settlement is not going to be approved by the judge. But I think most reasonable people think that it will be. And so there's not a lot of buying pressure for AMC because what happens after the conversion, it's going to be $26 or so based off of the current price of AMC and APE. That means a $4.70 AMC share will drop to $2.60. There's not a lot of people lining up to buy that. That's why the volume is low. So look, if you're swing trading it, keep that in mind. But I don't know on what day the judge is going to hand in her written opinion. So there's just a lot of uncertainty. Expect volatility. Swings between $4 and $5 would not be out of the norm. But I think you're going to see a general lack of buying pressure. Then as we get closer to August for Q2 earnings, I'm going to say let's see how the end of June finishes for Q2. I've reduced my absolute top of what I think domestic box office will be to 2.5 billion. So I think we're going to end between 2.3 and 2.5 billion. It might be enough to get us a break even or slightly positive quarter. But I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to be 2.8. It's not going to be 3 billion domestic. I'd love to be wrong on that though. That's just where I'm at in my head space right now, looking at, we got 3 weeks left in June. Even with the movies, I know every title that's coming up. I say between 2.3 and 2.5 billion. Silent X, yes, I agree with that. I didn't really comment on the voodoo on any social media, but we talked about it here. We talked about it in the Discord. I exactly agree with that viewpoint. Voodoo, in my best guess, is an offloading of expense. So streaming was taking resources and time and money from AMC, and so they offloaded it to a third party where they can still collect a little check and not worry about the execution. And I think that's a good move. Steven says it's been 132 days since Ants Trades called for a squeeze. Thank you for keeping the count, Steven. Much appreciated. Do I think margin calls are coming? Now, I'm pretty sure you're being sarcastic. Hilsey, what's up? Just stopping by to say yo. And I'm not Hilaria, yeah, Hillionaire. Thank you, Hilsey. There's a few people with their, you know, troll accounts that start with Hill something or other. So we're keeping an eye on you, Hilsey. I'm just teasing. Don't we just need a trend in movie attendance, Anya? We need box office revenue. So Adam did announce recently that the revenue per patron for concessions is up in May. That's good. That was not an announcement, and I said this in the Discord last week. That was not an announcement that concessions revenue is at an all-time high. Right? You got to look at how many patrons went in May. It was revenue per patron. Let's keep our measurements, our metrics clear in our head what we're talking about. This is Adam Aaron said we had a record day on Saturday in April. Okay, one day, big fucking deal. Stop reading into tweets. Use some emotional intelligence. One day does not make a quarter. Oh, but you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but you know that it's bullish. Don't misinterpret the metrics just to pump people. Dr. Spurgeon, the Sturgeon, says Beetlejuice was one of my favorites. Is there another Beetle movie coming out? That was a hilarious fucking movie. What if AMC does not squeeze, Donnie? Then you're in for a long ride. You're in for a multi-year ride. And you better hope that 2024 meets industry expectations for around 11 billion. You know, if we can get 11 billion domestic box office, AMC could relatively easily have 3 or 4 positive quarters. Why is that? You know, how come we couldn't make money in 2019 on 11 billion? Why does Tony say that in 2024? Because we've taken market share, and concession prices are increasing, popcorn retail revenue, collectibles, even, you know, that's not a ton of money, but it's incremental revenue. Everything is better now situated than it was in 2019. We don't need as much DBO, domestic box office, in 2024 as we did in 2019. So cross fingers if we're still stuck in 2024 talking about AMC, we need 11 billion. It's really up to Hollywood. And if Hollywood doesn't get off their ass, then Adam Aaron's going to need to cut theaters. If nothing changes. I mean, if nothing changed from right now, my next move would be continue to close non-performing theaters. Anything that's not cash flow positive, dump it. I know he's got this strategy of wanting to be the largest, but you got to also be smart about it. Blazin says, I'm a patient man. I don't know if we will ever squeeze, but I do think over the course of a few years, AMC and Ape will make me money. Not as exciting as a MOAS. Yeah, I agree. Not as exciting. Does the writing strike have me concerned? The longer it goes on, yes. Initially, right, it affects nightly shows and then weekly TV shows. And then eventually it comes to a point where it's enough weeks have gone by if people aren't working on scripts and you don't have, look, I've done a couple movies, you might have heard. Scripts get rewritten even as late as the morning you're about to film. You spend all night learning your lines and then they have edits in the morning. Script writers are always working. So even movies that are in production could be getting slowed down. Yeah, it's going to have some effect, and the longer it goes on, the bigger effect it will have on Hollywood. Absolutely. Broke Ape, I actually did not buy the Spider-Man tins. I have a couple back here on my table. I've got the Top Gun and one other one that lights up. I forget which it is. I'm about to pull out my earplugs. Anyways, I got two. I don't spend a lot of money on collectibles. I don't even know. Look, why don't I spend money on them? I don't know what the profit margin is. I know if I'm going to spend my money at AMC, I'm going to buy a ticket. I already have them free from A-List. I'm going to spend my money on concessions because I know that that is a fucking fat profit margin. So for me, it's an easy choice. $50 on some appetizers, a salad, a burger, a couple beers, or $50 on a popcorn tin. I'm not really into collecting popcorn tins. It's not my thing. So I didn't buy those Spidey ones. I haven't even seen the first Spider-Man cartoon. Should I see it? I was thinking about watching the first one on streaming and then going to see the second one. I hear good things, but like when I watch the previews, it's like, I don't really know. It's not really my type of movie. I mean, I like the real human actors. I like all those movies, but what is just knocking people's socks off about a cartoon? It looks pretty sharp. I mean, it looks like a comic book, right? But what really drew you in? Is it just because you're a Spider-Man fan and you can't miss anything? Stephen with a very important point. If you are a shareholder, you must know I'm reading it slow on purpose. How important it is that you go and support The Flash. If you're going to go to the movies one time this year, it needs to be The Flash. Yeah, we've looked at every movie that's coming out in the next 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks to finish out this quarter, we're around 1.9 billion DBO. We need 2.3, 2.5 billion. We need The Flash to be a fucking monster hit. If it doesn't, you know, we're going to be lucky to get 2.3. Volkstoy says, whatever happened to the movie? I think he meant to say cars, that they did pay a monthly fee for unlimited watches. There is a company called Movie Pass or something that is, if you're talking about like sign up online, pay $15 a month and get unlimited movies. There's some company that tried to bring that back, but I don't think AMC signed up with them. That's like what do you call those companies that try and fill the last empty seats? AMC doesn't want to be, I guess they didn't want to be dealing with that company for whatever reason. Chad says he can't go to animated movies either. Now, I do like Pixar animated movies. Like almost any Pixar movie I enjoy. Toy Story, Up. I think those were all Pixar, right? Almost any of them. But the Spider-Man one's just not speaking to me. Zhao Feng says Cineworld will emerge from bankruptcy debt-free. The lenders are going to own the company. The common shareholders are going to get wiped out. I didn't read the deal if it'll be debt-free, but yeah, I think that's the case, right? Because the lenders will own the company and it's a debt for equity swap. So they're going to take the debt that the company owed them and convert it into stock, and they will be the majority owners of the new company. That seems, as I'm walking through how it should work, yeah, sounds right. Don't forget the popcorns. Which popcorns are we talking about? How do you say popcorn in Spanish? Is that popcorn? I don't know. Juicy says that is the hardest thing about doing a job when your productivity is dependent on other factors, just like the bottom line is decided by Hollywood. Yeah. Hollywood is held hostage right now by the writers, and AMC is held hostage by Hollywood. Everybody depends on somebody. I mean, there's really no way of getting out of it. If you're in auto manufacturing, you're dependent on your union workers. If you're in a union state, you're dependent on suppliers, supply chain. Everyone's dependent on something unless you work for yourself. And then you only depend on your hustle. Your hustle. Palomitas. Pot maize. Pot maize or pot maize? Palomitas. I don't know why I've never heard that word. In Texas since 1985, and I don't recall ever hearing palomitas. G Immortal, I have not read any new SEC rules, including the new one to prevent fraud, manipulation, and deception with security-based swaps. I'll take a look for it. I've seen some headlines on Twitter and stuff, but you know, we spent so much time looking at regulations in 2021 thinking that any of them could matter, and they didn't. I'm kind of burned out on looking at regulations. But I will take a look at that one. It sounds like a very interesting one. Remind me again tomorrow if I haven't talked about it in a tweet or a video. Marco says in Guadalajara, we also call them chivitas. What do we call them in Puerto Rico? Do I have any Puerto Ricanos? Chad says, still can't find, I think, the microwave popcorn. I had to go buy oil for my truck. I had to change the oil and filter. And while I was at Walmart, where I buy I get whatever fully synthetic is the cheapest. I think I got Pennzoil this time. While I was there grabbing that, I walked over to the grocery side of Walmart, and there was all the popcorn in the world you could want, any brand, except not one fucking bag or box of AMC. Way to go, Austin. This big gaping hole in the popcorn shelf. I knew right to go look at the label. Yep, AMC sold out. It's still hard to find. I hope they get the production up so that we can. It won't be as fun to, post pictures of full shelves, but at least we can say we can buy it when we want. I think I got a few boxes left of microwave, but I can't eat them right now because I'm on the strict keto phase. But no olvides las ganancias que tendrá AMC con las palomitas empaquetadas. Persona mi pobre inglés, tío Denaro. Perdona, you mean. Don't make me correct your Spanish. When they are both $3, there is no money required going one to the other. Are we talking about Ape and AMC? All right. Any other conspiracy shit we need to clear up? Steven, you got anything you want to come on and say? Blazin? Anya? No, Anya doesn't have a mic. All right. Blazin says he wants to come on. I'm going to go in the champagne room, Blazin. Join us in there, and we'll let you say your 2 cents. Steven, you're welcome to join in too. Or anybody that's in the Discord. You got something important to say? Or did I misinterpret your yes, sir? Questions, documents, conspiracies, bullshit. What do y'all want to talk about? You got a few more minutes and then I'm going to wrap it up. We'll close out at 10 o'clock. $15 minutes. Equius says the military has a UFO Lockheed to the moon conspiracy that's being memed around. All right. I like me a good UFO story. Oh yeah, the delistings we had I haven't really talked about those on video. Been so busy with stock shit. But what a fucking ride, man. Binance gets sued by the SEC, and then Coinbase. Is it too late to do a video on those and get some comments? Jennifer says, smoke, the fire smoke is killing you in Philly too. I saw some horrible pictures in New York. And I've been talking to the Canada folks. Yeah, it sounds awful up there. Phase 6, 9-month contracts. Silent X says coming out June 14th or 21st. All right, keep your eyes on those dates. All right, Blazin, you're forgiven. You don't have to come talk. DevStat says conspiracy. Al is Ken's illegitimate son built in a lab by nefarious hedging. Al is actually a shareholder, believe it or not. If any of y'all have questions, I can confirm that he is a shareholder. Gus says, how about advice on how I should go about averaging down my AMC from 26 a share before the split? Well, I can't give you financial advice, Gus, but in general, when one wants to average down a price, you look for a lower price and you add shares. Right now, AMC is higher than $2.60. So you're not going to be able to average down buying more AMC. There is another ticker you could consider. It's called APE. It's currently $1.60, projected, at today's prices to post-conversion be trading around $2.60. So that might be something to consider, but I would be remiss if I didn't also say there's legal uncertainty. You got Antara selling APE. They still have 140 million shares. They're pinning the price at $1.60 because they keep offloading. So I can't really tell you what to do. Every choice you have right now in front of you is risky. So I'm staying out of the advice business. Pamela, what's up, Pam? Thank you for stopping by. Chad says the one stock we know everyone could average down on is Mullen. Please don't. Can I tell? No, I'm not going to tell you all this. No. Gus Blazin says there's risk in doing anything, including nothing. Yeah. I wish I could say at this point, just go buy APE. But, what if I'm wrong about the lawsuit? What if the judge says it's illegal? Then you're fucked. APE's going to go to close to zero. So I can't be giving you any advice because I don't need anybody coming back and blaming me for telling them what to do. The smart time to buy APE was when it was under $1, 60 cents, $1. Get that nice run up to that came after that to $2 to $3. Trade out of it. That was the play. Now there's still a chance, and people are definitely making that gamble that $1.60 can turn into $2.60. But I got to always tell you both sides, and that means there is legal risk in the play. Even if it's 1%, it exists. Tread lightly and do your DD, C-Win says. Pam says, I'm getting my money back by working 2 jobs. I love to hear that, Pam. I worked 2 jobs and went to college, so I respect the hustle. And even when I was working 1 job, I had my rental properties, which also felt like 3 jobs. I'm a glutton for working 24 hours a day. It's not a great way to live, but some of us don't know any other way to do it. My wife gets so mad at me. Why can't you just stop working and watch TV? I'm not built like that. Just not. But when we have a night out, you know, that's the entertainment. If I'm home, I'm working on something. Echo, speaking of lawsuits, Disney partnered with a group to launch their own card game, but now they're being sued for IP theft. Oh shit. Hopefully just blocking the card game, not the movie. Anya says the one thing I got from the Chancery video was how everyone had the opportunity to buy ape. Yeah, that I get so tired, Anya, of people tweeting, you know, Tony, what do you think about Antara buying it 65 cents? Well, you had the same opportunity. I can see it on the chart. And I know people that bought it at that price. So I don't want to hear Antara got a sweetheart deal. Everybody had the same opportunity. Just some people didn't see it. What's up, Buckeye? Yeah, I actually, I shaved completely. I got a haircut too. And I shaved everything completely a couple days, maybe a week ago. And just keeping it light right now because I'll tell you why. You can see my skin's red. I've been out running. Run, walk during the middle of the day, trying to get the summer suntan to match the future summer body. It's a work in progress. So I don't like having a heavy beard when I'm trying to tan, because then that just looks fucked up. If you ever shave it off, like if you got to go to an event and look not old, you know, not like a bunch of gray in your beard, I'll just shave it all off. You don't want a big old white patch right here. So I'll be keeping the beard light over the summer. Not red from shots, Pam. I'm not drinking until I lose 10 pounds. I'm on very, very strict keto and calorie restriction. Halfway there, Pam. 7 days in, 5 pounds down. Wish me luck. I'm working hard. Water. Let me take a look at MVIS. People have been talking about it in the Discord. I haven't been watching it. Holy fuck. Should have been watching it. Wow. Wow. All right. I mean, clearly that's a beautiful run up, $1.82 to $8.20. Looks like there was a little bit of moment of indecision today. Tomorrow is going to be a key day for this stock. If I just had to make a guess, it's looking like it wants to top out. I have not been watching the news or anything about what's making this move. Look, first article says retracement on the horizon. So yeah, they're kind of confirming what I just said. It's looking like it might come back down. All right, I'll look into that tonight. I need to look at the headlines and the financials. But just looking at the chart, I'd say this is looking kind of toppy right here. What do you guys think? Thank you, Pam. Pam says you can do it. Maximus says Are you 170, Maximus? I'm trying to get back down to about 175. So I got a long way to go. June 1st, I was 195. I'm at 190 now. I think I'll be at 185 by the time we talk next weekend, June 15th or so. I'll be at 185, and then the hard work begins. Thoughts on MBOT? Microbot, decent chart. Again, just looking at the chart, clearly, I don't know what news. Something must have happened when? On the 19th, 20th? Maintained as a buy by H.C. Wainwright on the 9th. Positive results for Liberty Robotics System. All right, I need to go look into that one too. Let me add that to my... I got some study time tonight, so I'll check into those. Oh yeah, the robotic surgery. All right. I need to, in order for me to give you an intelligent, thorough analysis, I mean, the chart is not awful. Thank you guys for asking me about charts that don't look like, well, when the common thing that gets me frustrated when people say, what do you think about this chart? What do you think about this ticker? No, just no. We're not trying to scrape the bottom here just because it's cheap. When you see something that's legit going up like that, or MBOT, you know, there's some uncertainty here. There could still be some opportunity. This does not look like that it's necessarily over. In fact, it looks like it wants to keep going up. So this is a relatively bullish chart still. I'd much rather you guys ask me about tickers like this than like that, or like that, or like that. Done. CGRA, done. Charge point looks like it's wanting to, it broke out over the 13 EMA on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Oh yeah, it's looking spicy on the daily. Come on, charge point. Thoughts on commercial real estate, owning the float? We have a lot of discussions in our Discord about commercial real estate. I have clients that deal with hedge funds that analyze commercial real estate. And I'll tell you, that guy told me, stay the fuck away from it. I'm just passing on what he said. If it's office space. And I think the general consensus in my Discord from folks that are following real estate is the bottom is not in yet. Well, what do we know? I told my client, the dude that runs in circles with people that have real estate hedge funds, I said, next time they tell you something like that, can you call me early? Don't tell me 3 months later. We're trying to make money over here, bitch. Sorry if you're watching. I say that lovingly. Sibone, S-I-B-N, someone's asking about. Yeah, it's a beautiful trend right there. Nice bounce off of 11, not showing any signs of slowing down. I sure would like to go look and see what is driving that. Let's scroll back. All-time high of 37. So we need to we need to see, can it run all the way back up to 37, because $10 is still a good play. I'm going to add that one to take a deeper look at. Not add alert. Good call on that one. Need to dig into it, but right now looking beautiful. Bior, come on, man. Bior's dead a long time ago. DocuSign, yeah, the darling of the COVID era. I like their product. Obviously, it got very pricey up here. $57. And with a recent low, I think anywhere in the 30s, going all the way back to 2019. 2019, here again in November 2022. We didn't quite test it in May, sorry. So could the new bottom be $45, or could it go back and retest 40? I can't say without looking at their earnings, but let's do that real quick, because this is kind of a tough call looking at the chart. Earnings is growing, so that is good. Net income, obviously these are the struggle periods, but they did just post a positive. So let's scroll back and look. Net income before COVID. Holy cow, what a mess. Total disaster. So the fact that they posted a positive quarter, I mean, why the hell were people paying $314 for a company that wasn't even making money? Unbelievable. It's no wonder it fell all the way down. Cash is growing. Where is it coming from? Coming mostly from operations, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to spend a little time, and I think I should, this might be one worth considering down somewhere in this range. Is it worth $57? That's the question. Or is it worth $39? Not a fucking alert. Stop it. Stop it. Cancel. 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 Son of a... Watch list. Dr. Spurgeon says, my girlfriend used to work at DocuSign. Why don't Adobe or Microsoft just eat DocuSign's lunch? Yeah, I don't know. DocuSign, it's used by so many people, and it's easy to use. I use Adobe products also. I think they're a little clunkier, but feature-wise, more robust. And you got the whole family of Adobe products. Microsoft, I don't know. Anya, DocuSign was a good runner, but their financials didn't really. They never justified that price. Holy smokes. People got way over the skis on that one. And you know what the DocuSign people are saying right now? If we go in the comments, do you think they're blaming the CEO for the price falling from 300 to 50? Or are they blaming themselves for buying a money-losing company in 2020? And then the economy went back to normal. I mean, there's no way you can justify a price of $300 looking at the financials in 2020, 2021. There's too much expectation of future earnings and too much losses. Blazin says Ape and AMC will not convert at the same price. Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying they're trying to push AMC down to $3. I don't know that they can. Adam Aaron said that the conversion will happen around 30. That doesn't mean that AMC has to go to 3 and Ape goes up to 3. That's not how I'm interpreting that. We have our conversion formula on a spreadsheet, and that does not need to happen. You could convert right here at $4.70 and $1.60, or you could have Ape go up a little more and AMC come down. But I don't think that they'll meet at exactly the same price. We got different float size on them both. What do I think the end result is with GameStop and DRSing? What do they have now? Like 25% of the float DRS, right? In 2 years. In about another 6 years, they should have it locked up. Headstock Harem says AutoZone is at 2,300. What the fuck? Oh my gosh. I'm just assuming they never did a stock split. PE ratio is 17. That's a reasonable PE ratio. They obviously just never did a split. So the price seems high, but I want you guys to remember price is irrelevant. It's price related to earnings. That's why you can't compare Cinemark at $16 or $15 to AMC at $5 because of the float, because of the market cap. Price is not how you judge a stock. Look at the PE ratio. 17 is meaning that at that price, it's pretty fairly valued. If they wanted to make it cheaper and more accessible to retail, they could do a stock split, but I don't see one. I don't see that they ever did one. What a fucking machine of a stock. It just goes up, up, up. This is what you want the bulk of your portfolio to look like. Profitable companies that are going up over years. I want you to all get out of the habit of looking for, you know, this or this. That. Is it a buy right now? I don't know. Why did it fall? Sometimes there is value, right? When it runs up and crashes, at some point, if the company is able to turn a profit, there's value at the bottom. But if it's still losing money and it's at the bottom, stay the fuck away. Chipotle is another good one, yeah. Costco. FedEx, kind of ugly right now. The Goog. I got my trend line of where I like to buy Google. We're well above it right now, so I'm not adding any more. I have a little bit. McDonald's, just a beautiful stock. How long can they keep up this growth rate? Hell if I know. How many more McDonald's can be built in the world? And then, you know, other blue chip companies, when you see something like a Target getting beat up over a poor social campaign, go in and find out what price you'd like to buy Target. Because in 5 years, whatever's happening right now, probably not going to matter. Don't catch a falling knife. Wait for a bounce. But, I mean, it looks like if I just drew a trend line, it could be presenting an opportunity. And then you need to go look at the financials, look at the company's strategy, their vision, their growth plan, a lot of things to consider for a long-term hold. But on these big blue chip companies, these big behemoths, I'm looking for buying them on bad news. Like I'd love to see a Target go down below 100 or Tesla crash. I bought Tesla at 100. I'm waiting. If I got to wait 2 years, I'll wait. These were my buy band for Tesla. Snatch some up right here. So hopefully if you stick around, we're going to be talking about how to build up our portfolio on companies like this that have a great uptrend. Try and catch them in a down cycle like this shit right here with Target. If you think they can overcome it, there's going to be opportunities for the brave in here at some point. And, you know, these are companies that have long histories of generating profits that are dealing with a short-term issue. Very different than buying money-losing companies and hoping for a squeeze. NNDM. I don't know. The chart's not speaking to me. Let's see why it crashed. Yeah, I mean, just a history of no positive earnings ever. And it's not getting better in the last 3-4 quarters. It's getting worse every quarter. Yeah, I'm not looking to add more of those. John says, I'll be sticking around until you close your channel. Hopefully never. Let's hope so, John. We got so much more to talk about. If we can all if I can help you evolve into smarter traders, avoiding stuff like NNDM just because it's cheap does not mean it's a good deal. Look at the fucking financial statements. When I see 4 quarters of, I see, first of all, never making money, never making a profit. In the last 4 quarters, it's getting worse, 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 worse. I don't know what basis you could say this is a great deal. I got to see a turnaround. There is always a reason these charts look like this, and that reason is always right here. Read the financials. It's not naked shorts. It's not manipulation. It is people selling it because the company is doing worse, 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 and worse. Coke. Yeah, I've owned Coke before. I don't own any now. Beautiful chart. I fall in love with charts like this. I don't have a trend line drawn here, which means I haven't done analysis on it to figure out where I would like to buy it at. Obviously, great opportunity back in COVID. Another little one here in October. I think if you see any retracement below this 120-day moving average, just looking at the chart, I don't even need to look at the financials on something like this. It's a solid company, always has been. Anywhere probably under the 120 EMA, I'd start looking at buying some. In fact, I'm going to set an alert. Look, you're not going to make a ton of money buying it at 57. You're going to have to hold it for a long time. But that's what you want, is you want something that is tried and true when the shit hits the fan, you don't got to worry about it going bankrupt. Even if it takes a dip, there's a market crash, another COVID, and Coke crashes, you double down on that shit. Because if you bought at 57 and you have a chance to buy at 37, that's just life handed you a bowl of cherries right there. Price below 57, I'm setting my alarm. And a sharp fall. I don't really trade the VIX, Table Rock guy. I'm not doing any sort of VIX or index trading right now because of the market uncertainty. Now, I get it. People enjoy the excitement of doing that. But I feel like I could wake up every day and flip a coin and have just as much chance of being successful. So my trading in that style, I'm trying to find options of companies where I think I know what's going to happen. Like the puts I bought on GameStop this morning. I have a pretty good understanding of the business. Earnings is about to come up, and I think it's going to be a miss. And the last 3 that I've done have not worked out, but the GameStop one is going to probably pay off very handsomely and more than make up for the other ones. If I'm not really sure about it, I will just buy 1 or 2 options. I bought a lot for GameStop. What do I think of MMAT? I think the chart will answer that question. It was a beautiful run up here. We watched it. And now it's in the shitter. Why? Why, you say? Cat messing around over my shoulder there. Falling earnings from 2022. Net income is They're not making any headway towards getting profitable. Negative 18 million. Balance sheet. They have more liabilities, more current liabilities than current assets. Cash is getting drained down. Not a great story. I'd probably look, look, there's plenty of good stocks. We don't need to play in the dumpster looking for trash when there's literal gold bars sitting out there waiting to find. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it. I said 10 o'clock I was going to, and it's 10:23. Thank you for all the great stock call outs. Hopefully you can kind of see how I analyze these. Yes, the chart's important. If a chart is nosediving into the dirt, you ought to pay attention why and get out of the mindset that it's manipulation, naked shorts. Switch over and look at the damn financials. The answers are right here, why these stocks are nosediving. There were great FOMO runs. There was fun to be had. We look for those every week. Get in, get out, take your money, move on. Don't fall in love with a dumpster fire. Love you guys. Thank you for the great questions. And I don't think they'll be live tomorrow, but I'll be around in the Discord for all the members of the channel. Peace, love, be good to one another, and go see a movie.